Thank you guys for coming tonight. I think everybody is in the room that's here. Tonight you've got a really a rich bit of history of both Nashville and the West Coast. Two great singer-songwriters that could be interesting tonight. I want you guys to welcome Alan Hurt and John Batdorf.
Randy, do you want me to do the clap?
Yeah.
As soon as they get seated,
Okay.
you can just get in front of the camera.
Wherever it
That
is.
was classic.
Okay. One time loud. Okay.
I love it.
So who's got the clap?
Randy does.
Okay.
You could have blown a whistle, but that's more fun. You in, Alan? There we go.
I don't think it's gonna work. What do you think? That's not bad. It's jazz. You're gonna go first. You're in a major key.
All right.
It's first meeting.
Competition zone.
No, I just made a promise that I'd be nice to him tonight
Why?
because I like him.
All right,
You don't like the other people that come here?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
But you're not nice to them.
Oh, well.
The night's still young.
It is.
John is from my Oregon.
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 Everybody calls it Oregon. But
Oh,
it's
yes.
Oregon.
Well, okay, I couldn't
I
get
found
his
out when I
name.
moved there.
He's from North Texas, gentlemen.
He's from my Oregon.
Well, somebody play a song.
Oh, wow. Who's going to play?
It's your call.
Good, man.
Okay.
Rita.
She didn't come tonight. You know why? Because it's flooding down in Texas.
It's Stevie.
It is.
Right down the street from this one.
Yep. Even the lady that pulls me over with her blinking hat is here tonight.
Oh, it is. Turn it off.
Oh, no, don't. That's how I refer to you. I said, is the lady with the blinking hat going to pull me over on stage tonight? God. And you know, I'm paranoid because usually I see things like that in my rear view mirror and I'm like, oh man. So I don't drive through DeSoto fast anymore. But I sure think about it.
You don't drive through Ferris fast either.
No, never. Well, this one will be a long time coming, and I just always start off with that. Then John can blow me away.
Oh no, I'll think of something to play.
And I think it's really cool. I've been listening to your music, and I love it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's eclectic.
It is eclectic.
I've always wanted to be eclectic, but then I would think they would put me in some home or something.
Well, I don't think you'd have the accent and be eclectic.
Ooh, yes. I like that. Every time things ain't going right and we end up in a fight, you keep saying you're gonna leave, but you never do. sound like two flutes having love. Or Dolly Parton's Children meets again.
Well, I'm gonna do some electric stuff.
Oh, is that
Electric
stuff
or
that
electric?
makes you regular?
I think so. Yeah, I'm actually from California and moved to Oregon 3 years ago.
All right, the show is over. Thank you
There you
very
go.
much for coming.
I know how much Texans love Californians. I know
We like their money.
that. So do Oregonian people.
Oregonians.
Yes, I've learned some new words.
Wow, Oregonian. Isn't that like that paper stuff that they make little figures and origami?
These people live in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
They call it Oregonian. This is Oregonians.
When did they land? Is it like a...
I'm not sure. I just moved there.
You just moved there.
3 years ago. Yeah.
He's not even from there.
Oh, heck
From
no.
California.
Nobody's from Oregon.
Really?
No.
They all just kind of end up there.
Yep. Yep. It's
So
a
when
really
you
cool
run out of
place.
money from trying to live in California, you move to origami land.
You do. And it's a really good place to live.
It's
It's a really
beautiful.
good place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys just came back from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard they had new crops there.
Yeah. They the year I moved up there, they had legalized pot,
Yes,
and I heard they had 1.5 million pounds excess.
yes.
Wow.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of heads up there too.
Yeah.
That's where pot heads come
I
from.
think so. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, anyway, this is a song I wrote about 6 years ago, and ended up on my CD Soundtracks Recovery. It's called Mama's Coming Home Tonight. Make your beds and I'll take out the trash. Find that disc of Crosby, Stills and Nash. Put the flowers in the vase. Get those books back in the case. Clean this place up. Mama's coming home tonight. We'll feed the cat and give the dog a bath. Watch that joke that always made her laugh. Put on your Sunday best. Now get my best blue jeans pressed. Gotta look fine, cause Mama's coming home tonight. But she's been wondering if we've been alright. While she's been recovering, she might be scared to reunite. Mama's coming home tonight. She may be a little hard to read, so let her know that one thing's guaranteed. We're gonna love her more than we ever did before. We're so glad Mama's coming home tonight. Well, she's been working and she's had to fight. And she's been searching for ways to hang on to the light. Mama's coming home tonight. There may be times when you should sit and hold her hand. You don't have to say a single word. She needs to rediscover just how much we all love her, always, forever. If you need to know, I'll make it clear, 'cause I'm not going anywhere but here. I only want one life with my kids and with my wife. We'll be fine, 'cause Mama's coming home tonight. Yeah, she's my hero. coming home tonight. Mama's coming home tonight. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, there you go. That's some eclectic music for you there.
I like it. Man, Mama's coming home tonight. It's like a warning for everyone.
It sure is. Or a blessing.
If she looks good, yeah. Sorry.
It's actually a story about a mom who's been in rehab.
Really?
That's what the story's about.
Wow, story of my life. I know all those women that's been
Well, you know, it's funny, I was at a gig in Washington, and she goes, how sweet that you wrote that song, that your wife was coming home from rehab. She goes, when I got out of rehab, my husband just kicked my ass out. I said, okay.
Nice.
I'm not going to write that song, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's not as eclectic as that. Like it.
Wow.
But anyway, it's a cool project we did, Soundtracks Recovery. It's about people who suffer with addiction.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's neat.
Yeah, it is cool. It's really great to do.
I love your vocals. I love the way you did that. Jeez. Yeah. I only do that when I see the bills.
Yeah, that's how I first learned that note. I got my first thing from the IRS.
Yeah, wow. I'm going to be hearing you every time I see that. Oh, John. Anyway, I mean, it's really neat. I've never met who they named a bathroom after.
That's right. Household name.
Where are you going? I'm going to the John.
Next time you're in there, mention
I've
my
played
name.
with him
You
before.
get a good seat next time. Mention my name.
Love it. I know him personally, thank you.
Bet you do.
Actually, John and I worked this out. He said, well, if you get me, I'll get you back. I said, I know.
Sounds fair to me.
But you'll give me back if you get me.
No, I'm okay. I just enjoy playing music, and it's okay, man.
And where did you meet Randy Treadway? And my next question is, why?
I'm asking myself the very same question.
Mine was at the bus station bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
He said, have you got a quarter?
I thought you were looking for John. You
I
found
said,
Randy.
just don't pay him, leave it in there. Why not, you know?
You know, I actually met him. Some friend of mine came here years ago, Terry and Jerry Holder, and they're really great, husband and wife.
Still?
Still, yes.
Amazing.
It is amazing. I just had my 45th wedding anniversary.
Really?
So.
Wow.
Same woman, too.
All right.
You can have multiples, but still
I tried, but the Mormon life was killing me. I realized you have to pay for every one of them.
Dude.
Now, I've been married to my beautiful boss for 4 years, and wow, it's been rough. She really is in charge.
Good thing.
You're just finding out?
Well, she likes, you know, mom's in charge and chocolate cake quite a bit. Those are her, oh, I'm sorry. Those are her favorite.
That was your buddy.
Hey!
Be careful, I'm gonna tell him about chocolate cake.
Anyway,
Say, he's lying.
I'm just getting warmed up. Leave me alone.
Do you need some suggestions?
No.
You sure?
When I get to that point, which I will be blinking at you.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I've got a twitch. Leave me alone. Anyway, this song is called "Cup of Coffee," and I thought about it. I used to get up and drive this certain time every morning and sun up, you know, and this lady would always be out on her front porch drinking coffee. I never honked, never waved, and I thought, well, there's a song in this, you know. So after a year, 2 years of it, I thought, we do this together every daggum day. So we've kind of got a little relationship going on, and neither one of us knew. So I wrote the song. She don't know me, I see her sometimes in the morning when I pass by each day on my way to work. She'll come out on the front porch with a hot cup in her hand, watching the sun come up with a sip now and then. She'll rise early for that start. I often think she makes it for us. Oh, I often thank God for that cup of coffee. I don't think I'll ever stop. I'll just keep going. I want these things to stay the same without her knowing. It's a secret I'll always keep between that hot cup and me. Oh, I often thank God for that cup of coffee. Oh, I often thank God for that cup of coffee.
So you born in Nashville?
Love that.
No, I was born in Texas, but I was mostly raised there.
That's my dad and uncle lived.
Hendersonville, actually. Hendersonville.
I know where it is.
Yep. You have to if I'm from there, boy. People don't go there. Why?
You know, I went to, because I started really young. I had albums out when I was 18. And then, like, I think it was early 90s, some of my friends had moved to, Harry Stenson, who was a great drummer and was in a band with me called Silver. He had moved there, and a lot of guys from California were moving there to write with people. And so I thought this would be a great idea, I should go down there too, because country music was changing a little bit. It was becoming more pop.
Mm-hmm.
Shania Twain was out, which was anything but country. So I thought, well, this would be a good time for me to get on there, because I got a little country in my music, because I was kind of raised with it with my father and my uncle. So I thought I would kind of dress the part. I bought a really nice jacket with a country stitching on the back.
Oh, don't ever do it.
Had some really nice boots that I got. And so I go into the first meeting, and the guy's got like a polo shirt on, and he's got loafers with no socks. And I look like I just came from out of town. So I go in there, and the guy goes, he was BMI, because I'm a BMI writer. And he says, well, let me hear what you got. So he has this boombox in his office. It's so quiet, I wasn't even sure he was actually playing, and he's got his ear on the speaker. I've never been in a meeting like that before. And so the guy raised his head, he goes, son, this ain't country, this is pop. Wow. We don't do pop in Nashville. Okay, welcome to Nashville.
Wow.
So then I had a couple other meetings.
Rude awakening.
Similar kind of, success story. One guy goes, people just come to town here and think they're gonna move to the head of the line. I said, you gotta be here 5 years at least. So I went back to California. I did, because I ended up doing some other stuff that was even better than if I'd have gone to Nashville.
Well, you know, Bakersfield has their own country.
Yeah, they
Buck
do.
Owens, yeah.
Yeah, I liked Buck a lot when I was a kid. And Hee Haw was a show that we used to watch.
We have a yeehaw down here.
No, maybe throw something at you.
Look, it's original, leave me alone. Anyway, I'm honored to get to play with Mr. Bendover tonight. It's really great.
I actually live in Redmond, but that's okay, it's close enough.
Redmond.
It's where all the Californians move.
See, that's probably gonna be a controversial name.
Like an Indian joke or something.
Yeah,
Those aren't
yeah,
involved.
just
no.
don't name your football team Redskins.
Okay. So I grew up, I was born in Ohio, and I was around country music my whole life. My uncle was a guy named Earl Scott. And he was a big country singer in the 60s and had 4 top 10 singles. And my father and my uncle, they had slightly big egos, and thought they were pretty much invincible.
My friend Randy's like that.
Well, my uncle,
I didn't tell you it would all get pointed at you, did I, John? You'd be all right. It's all right.
so my uncle was a big star. He had, you know who Nudie was, the guy who made all the suits for the country guys?
So yeah, I wear those suits.
Nudie suits, yes.
I'm just not nude under the suits.
Good.
Well, he had 4 of them, because his name was Earl Scott, and he had a Scotty dog in the back. And,
Oh.
he used to sign his autograph, "Thanks a lot, Earl Scott." And so he was kind of a big deal. If you look him up, I mean, they have YouTube stuff with him, Earl Scott. Well, he, I guess, thought it was a great idea to have like an affair with the record president's wife. So he became a carpenter.
Oh.
True story.
I knew somebody named Karen that did that. She became a carpenter.
Well, maybe that's how it goes. That's where you go next, I guess.
I know.
So he has the nudie suits in his closet still. He can't
Well,
wear
you know,
those to work.
my friend Randy started out as a grocery sacker, and then he evolved into, you know, this.
Getting you
A
a place to
decorator.
work.
There you go.
He's an interior decorator. He's really cool. He likes to put Beatles stuff everywhere.
He has good taste. I have this in my room too. You come to my house, you'll see it. They're everywhere.
We'll be there next year.
Alan
Yeah.
doesn't.
No.
I don't think the Beatles were. If they made an impact on you when you were young, you never forgot it. Because it impacted the world so heavily.
Yeah.
I like George Harrison.
Yeah, well, they were all so brilliant. I mean, I saw a thing the other day where they were just singing together, John and Paul, and it was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
There was magic there.
Oh, to hear 2
Yeah.
great singers and then become this 3rd singer when they sang unison.
And
I mean-
it went back to when they were children.
Oh yeah, it was so
I was a
remarkable.
big Yoko Ono fan.
So you're the guy.
Yeah. I had a crush on her. It was rough.
Is that after you saw that album cover with him and John?
Yeah, I know. But that ruined it all. Yeah, and you know what? I was going to a Christian academy when that came out. It ruined everything. I'm like, this is so. I'm sorry.
Well, I love playing different tunings. That's my favorite thing to do. I can see this A string. It looks very vibrant tonight. Have you ever seen the YouTube picture of a camera inside a guitar when you strum it? It's remarkable. You should see it. It's pretty incredible what the strings do to make the sound they make.
I'm still trying to get over my echocardiogram.
It's a little different vibe. So anyway, I like to play in different tunings. That's why I quit playing the piano, because you can't retune the piano. It's not highly recommended. So I kind of like make up tunings, and I meet people that write songs,
John?
different tunings. Yes.
I need you to pause for just a second. I just had a software problem back here, so give me just a minute.
Sure, man.
Go ahead with your story, though.
So I like to tune the guitar in all kinds of different tunings and make up chords. And This has been a tuning that's been around for a long, long time. It's just Dad Gad. Do you play any tunings at all?
I don't actually. It kind of causes software problems.
That's for them to figure out.
I know what I was going to suggest to you that he really hates, because you and I didn't talk about this before. And he'll be trying to adjust that while we're doing that. And then we go back to talking normal, we're like, hey, how are you doing?
Like the helium voice.
Yeah. So then we'll actually sound normal by that point.
So how you doing back there, Randy?
That's fine, you can go now.
Crash and burn?
It's all good.
All right. So as I mentioned before, I've been married for 45 years to my wife, Melanie. And so it's hard to write songs about breakup and heartache.
What's her last name?
Batdorf, last time I checked.
Why would you do that to her?
She was thrilled.
Was she?
Yes, she was. But I would have taken her name if she wanted me to.
What was her name before then?
Baruti.
Yeah, she was thrilled.
It was easier to spell.
Wow.
So I have a lot of friends that have been married a lot of years as well, but to more than one wife, which still counts, I guess.
Does it? They all
So
know each other?
They do. They all.
Okay.
It's very, very tight. So I wrote a song inspired by some of my friends, and it's a song called "Don't Tell Me Goodbye." Tell me I was wrong. You can look me in the eye and tell me I'm to blame and how I need to change, but don't tell me goodbye. Tell me how I failed and tell me what to do, and tell me it's a crime and all the fault is mine, but don't tell me we're through. You can tell me what we built was broken carelessly, and it all was me. You can beat me with the words I've spoken, and I'll take it willingly. Tell me how you hurt and all the reasons why. Just tell me in advance, I don't deserve a chance, but don't tell me goodbye. Tell me not to speak, that nothing I could say could make up or explain or ever heal the pain, but don't say there's no way. Tell me just how long I will have to try to show you I'm sincere. Tell me that it's years, but don't tell me goodbye. You can tell me there's a million reasons you believe that it's time to leave. Tell me it could be a million seasons, and I'll hold on patiently. Tell me what you need. Just tell me and I'll try. Tell me you're unsure, my promise will endure, but don't tell me goodbye. Never loved anybody like you in my whole life, whole life. I can see I've got so much to do to make it alright. Tell me I was cruel and how I made you cry. Say it might be years until I dry those tears, but don't tell me goodbye. Say you wait and see if there's a you and me, but don't tell me goodbye. Tell me you're not sure you love me anymore, but don't tell me goodbye. Thank you.
Very nice. I like it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It is so neat to be on stage with John Cougar Mellencamp.
He copied all my licks, man.
He did that, yeah.
Ramblin' Rita. We need to hear some Ramblin' Rita.
You know, Rita has left.
No,
the-
she has not. She's wonderful. More than likely, you'll probably make more money if, like, you play what the audience wants you to play. Just saying.
Oh, security. We have a lady that we need removed.
I'm security.
Uh-oh. Show's over.
And this is her house. And that's her husband.
I'm directing the next few at them.
Okay.
So you will get a break on the next session.
I'll be the good cop. You can be the bad cop. right?
Great, great. Okay, so, not.
I'm sorry, he's not going to make very much money.
That's okay, I'm double parked.
Good.
That was it. Hope you enjoyed that. That was random. My friend David's here tonight, and he's going to blow you away. Get out your heart and show her. He carries it with him, doesn't? Do you have one on you? Do you really? He really.
Always, he always has.
He really does.
Ask a harmonica player if he's got a harmonica.
Wow. Well, I have learned something new tonight. Thank you, David. We're going to talk about. I know, yeah. Have harp will travel? Yes, okay.
Never leave home without it.
Wow. Kind of like Randy. Then there's Helen. Never leave home without her. Are you going shopping? I'm there. I've got a story to tell about a girl I knew. Her name was Rita and her eyes were blue. She came from Memphis on a Greyhound bus one day. That ain't half of what I got to say about that Rita anyway. She had a traveling bug, she never stayed at home. Seemed like the girl always wanted to roam. Now she's gone. Oh, that rambling Rita's gone. Well, down rambling Rita. Oh, that rambling Rita's gone. my world and gave her everything. Even bought a car and a diamond ring. Now she's gone. Oh, that rambling Rita's gone. Well, now rambling Rita. Oh, that rambling Rita's gone. I needed that heart, didn't I?
You did fine without it. You did real good.
Thank you very much. Next time the cue is to, yeah.
I just noticed.
Did you? I don't know how you could keep from it. They've been here in your face the whole time. Of all the front row drivers,
It's all right.
they started out in the back seat and they moved up to the front.
We're good both places.
Oh,
I read that on the wall
Did you?
at the John.
Speaking of people in the front row, because normally when you go to a gig, it affects how you play.
It does. It's
If you
affecting me.
It has, well, sometimes not in a good way. I've had people sit in the front row looking at their phone the whole time and thinking, why are they sitting there? Like,
Yeah.
aren't I in the way?
Yeah.
But there was one time at a gig, you know, and you always try to kind of get a read on the audience. Not that I'm reading anyone here tonight, but
I want to read one of them.
I was at a gig.
Yeah.
I was at a gig in up in the Sacramento area.
Ooh.
And there was a very attractive woman in the front row.
That's
and
a first.
That's true. Until tonight, of course.
Yes.
I know where I'm sleeping. So anyway, and she's got, appears to be her young son with her, you know, her son. So what I'm thinking is, you know, I've been there a couple of times and I've never seen them. So I'm thinking, well, the poor stiff, you know, his mom's a big fan. And she thought, wow, you should come see this guy. He's really great. And, you know, and I'm sure he feels really excited about watching Grandpa sing songs from the 70s. You know, he's very excited about it. So that's what I'm kind of picking up on the vibe. So I had the break, and they were standing there in front of me, and I walked up to him. I said, hey, thanks for coming. And the kid goes, hey, man, I was here last time you were played. You were so great, I had to bring my mom.
Wow. I've been hooked up like that before.
I thought that was very funny. Surprise, surprise.
That's neat.
And I don't know if he was trying to fix me up or what.
I think he was.
Very positive. But that was very funny. Anyway, here's another song I wrote. I write with a guy named Michael McLean, who's such a great co-writer. And really great co-writers make your song ideas better. That's really what a great co-writer does. Because if you knew all the answers, you would have written it by yourself. And it's great when you have a really great idea going and then you get kind of stuck. And you get in a room with a guy that you completely trust, and there's no ego. And they go, what if you tried this? And you go, yeah, that's great. That's such a cool thing when that happens. So we've been writing together for over 20 years now, and it's been a fun thing. So here's a song we wrote. Both of us have been married for about the same amount of time. And he always says that we married over our heads. That's probably why he's been married for so long, I guess. It's a song called Me and You. It's a song about meeting your perfect match, and I was lucky enough to do that some 46 years ago. And it goes like this. 2 nights, 1 dream, 2 days with one awakening. 2 minds learn something new, where there's just one, me and you. 2 hearts, 1 beat, to try to make someone complete. To think 1 thought is true, where there's just one, me and you. Never thought that life was adding up too much, traveling the solitary path. Well, I was so divided till I felt your touch, and then I learned love's new math. To sing 1 song, to find one place where they belong. To see 1 awesome view, where there's just one, me and you. Some things are forever, some are tried and true. Some things just define how it should be. Well, some things never change, like 1 and 1 are 2. And there's just one, you and me. 2 flowers, 1 vase, 2 lives lived as one, because 2 souls know one thing's true, where there's just one, me and you. More than all the stars in the skies above, we can count the ways that we can count upon our love. Well, no one would ever feel down if they had what we have found. 2 words describe 1 heart that no one can divide. 2 words defining love that's true. Well, those are words, me and you. 2 smiles, 1 laugh, 2 feel we found their other half. Tonight 1 love shines through, where there's just one, me and you. Where there's just one, me and you, me and you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a good tribute.
Well, thanks. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, 45 years. Wow. Well, I know how it feels, huh? I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for my other half. She is precious in every way. I've been through a lot, as you probably have, you know.
Of course.
She stuck beside me, and I just keep on. And every time I fall, she helps me get back up. So.
There you go. I think that's the way it works.
And then she sends me the invoice for it.
As she should.
So it's by the hour, or is it by the day?
I just know it always has a bill of lading attached to it. Yeah. You never know when you're going to pop those straps, what's in there all bound up, you know. So, anyway, I'm going to do one. This one's called Well Overdue. Well, I have to tell that. I don't know why. It's embarrassing. Anyway, so her father used to open for me at a lot of my concerts, Gene Snow. And I had just written a cup of coffee from a while ago and this song, Well Overdue. And they were new, and I just couldn't wait to sing them at this song swap. And So Gene said, go ahead, Alan. I said, well, and I had just met his daughter, and I was just, you know, she was beautiful, you know, wow. But I was nervous. So I dedicated one of these new songs to her. I didn't even think about the lyrics. Just thought about the melody was pretty and, you know. And well, when you get love struck, you know, it's like getting hit with a Mack truck, and he didn't know he did good enough, so he backed over you. That's what happened. Anyway, so she, as you said, she asked her dad, well, "What's his problem?" And she was like, for a long time, just wondering, like, what the hell was he thinking, you know? But anyway, we still get together and we still get married in this story, which I'm lucky, because she realized that I didn't know any better. I just was dedicating the song anyway, and now you'll see why. I was on your list of people to see, someone to talk to, somebody to me. But it makes me wonder, was I just a number? Am I number one? Or just number two? Should I make reservations, put my best shoes on, stand by the door waiting? Don't you think I should know? 'Cause it's been a long time since I've heard from you. Your occasional hit, occasional miss is well overdue. I'm a lovesick fool who just never learned. Wear my heart on my sleeve, then I would get burned. But now I know the truth. It's hard to be number two. I won't wait around for somebody like you, 'cause it's been a long time since I've heard from you. Your occasional hit, occasional miss is well overdue. Your occasional hit, occasional miss is well overdue.
Very nice, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helen,
Yes.
prodigal son comes home.
Baby! Mom! Good to see you. Good. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, we have to love that.
She always does that to people she don't know.
That's it.
You know, it's funny, because I don't play with a lot of country guys.
Me neither.
And I just realized that, because I come from an era of the 70s, late 60s, where the music I listened to sometimes was 6, 7, 8 minutes long. I think the DJs like that.
Yeah,
They could put on the record and,
used to.
I know what they were doing. I know what they were doing. But there's never been a country song that I can ever remember that was like that. Extended. They never. I don't think that ever happened. Am I forgetting something?
Time wise?
Yeah.
I know we usually try to, what a category. A standard amount of time is usually 3 to 3:25.
Right.
And I've had, as a producer, I've had so many of all the songs I've written taken back, and the other producers say, Alan, you're about 1 minute and 25 seconds too long on this.
Wow.
And we need to tweak that. And I have one song that I'll play later that's 6 minutes long.
Appalachian Love.
And it's such an instrumental song. And,
Right.
and what I was doing, I was putting more emphasis on the instrumentation
Right.
versus vocal. And so it would linger. I'd say, well, I know how to fix that. Well, instead of 5 lead parts on this one break, we'll just get 2 guys. And then on the next break, we'll let the other guys that didn't get to play do it.
Yeah.
Instead of the keyboard going, I'm quitting because you didn't let me play. I know how to fix that. So,
Yeah.
and so it's a standard thing. But if they're not short and sweet, the radio people today won't touch them.
Well, another thing is also that because I did a lot of studio singing when I was a kid, I got to sing on the Motley Crue record, the Theater of Pain record, the whole record. It was really a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Neat.
And Donna Summer, I got to sing on that, and Dwight Yoakam singing his stuff.
I'm sorry.
And he was a very nice guy. And I got to sing the lead on Tom and Jerry Kids' new show. And my kids thought I was it, because that's what Daddy does.
Wow.
And then I had a big Nissan commercial, and they always got so excited because it's Daddy singing, it's Daddy singing. They had no idea what I did before.
Now, tell the story about the group Batdorf and Rodney.
Oh, which one? There's a lot of stories.
Well, I mean, for those who
The
don't
dirty
know,
ones. The dirty ones.
Well, there are no dirty ones.
Disappointed.
When I was 18, I lived in California. I was working as a waiter at a vegetarian restaurant. And, but I was doing music as well, but I had to pay the rent. And I lived there with, at the time, a runaway from Las Vegas. Her name was Marjorie. And we met about 1.5 years earlier, and I finally said, I can't work and do music. I have to. She worked too. She worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. We were in the big time there. We had a lot of chicken to eat, though.
It's the other white meat.
Yeah. So she said, well, why don't we go to Vegas and live with my parents? And I'm thinking, that's probably a really great idea. Here's the guy, the runaway daughter, has been living with for the last 1.5 years. And they were Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm thinking, what could go wrong here?
I
right?
know where this is headed.
So we went to Vegas and moved in with the parents. And I knew this was going to happen. We slept in separate rooms. I understand that. And they were, the father was a lawyer and the mother was, she drank a lot. So, but then they started to like me. First it was like, look, with the cat drug in, because I had really, really long hair. And so they knew I was a musician. So I used to, the way I wooed them over was they had their cocktail hour. They had 2 tall Pabst Blue Ribbons every night at 5 o'clock. And I would stand in the kitchen and I would sing songs for them. And all of a sudden, music was the thing that was the big thing that broke the ice.
The matchmaker.
So I was working at University of Nevada, and I was doing all my solo stuff, and I met this guy, Mark Rodney, who was a total freak. And I thought, well, this guy really is a scary looking guy. And he actually was scary looking, he actually still is. But he kept saying, hey man, let's jam, man. I really don't want to jam. I just got all these bands. I don't want to jam anymore. So we finally jammed one night, and it was just magical the way he played so different. He came from a jazz background, and I was more of a kind of a rock background, and it was something really great about it. So after about 3 months, I said, we need to go back to LA, man, because I think we need to try to see Ahmet Ertegun, who was the president of Atlantic, and play for him. So I knew he stayed at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and I called him up and said, Ahmet, you got to hear us. We're great. It's fantastic. And so, hard to believe, he said, come on over. So we went over there and played for him, and he actually started. He had a bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and all his meetings were in different bedrooms there. He was signing the Rolling Stones in the living room. They were just signing with their the Rolling Stones records. The Sticky Fingers record was coming out. So we're back in this room, and he comes in, we play our first song, and he literally jumps up and goes, I want to produce you. I want to take you guys on muscle shows. You guys are great. So we thought, well, that's pretty cool. So we played a bunch more songs, and he gave us a $100 bill and said, go get something to eat. And we thought that meant go buy groceries for the month, but he meant for the night. He ate at different restaurants than we did. So we thought this is really cool. So he took us to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and we used these incredible players down there. And we sat in a little ISO room where I used to sit with Barry Beckett, who was a piano player, and Dave Hood, the drummer, Hawkins, and it was just the three of us. And we'd sit in the room and play our stuff, and almost every cut, once we learned the songs, were about either the first or second take. And Ahmet, who's president of Atlantic, was down there, and it was fantastic because I just turned 19 when we made the record, and it was so incredible to have been a guy who left Ohio at 15 and 3 years later had a record deal with Atlantic, and it was so much fun. And we went on for like 5 years, and then we broke up. I formed another band called Silver that we were on Arista Records, and we made one record. And the deal was that Clive Davis would sign us if we would record this one song that he thought was going to be a hit. And so we said, well, let's hear it. And it was a really awful song. It was called Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang and a Sha-la-la-la-la-la thing. I thought, well, if you've heard our old records, we kind of don't do this kind of thing. And he goes, well, if you want to do an album, you're going to have to record this song. So we thought, well, okay, it's cool. If it's not a hit, then it'll be done. We want to put it on the album. So it became number 16 in the nation. And so we toured all over. We toured with America. We flew on their jet, which was really cool. And played all these gigantic places. They were big. This was 1976. And every night I went on stage to play Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang. I hated it. I just hated it. I thought, I've got some integrity here, and I don't sing Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang. So then the band broke up a year later, and last year I was in New York, and I got an email from somebody with a link to Rolling Stone. I thought, why would I get this? So I opened the email, and it's talking about this new movie called Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I'm so plugged in, I didn't even know there was a Guardians of the Galaxy 1. No idea. So I started reading about what it is, and they have these 70 songs. I didn't realize the first one had all these 70 songs. And so I'm reading all the songs that are in there, and My Sweet Lord, and Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, and Hey There, Mr. Blue, and just one great song after another. And I see Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang by Silver. So I thought someone was screwing with me. I thought, no, this song cannot be on this movie. There's no chance. So we read the story, and it was the guy said he heard the song. He had all these guys going out looking for songs for the album and for the movie. And he heard the song. He never heard it before, but he thought, this is perfect for the movie. So I still didn't believe it until I went to the movies in Bend. And I was sitting there with my wife and going, well, I don't know. It hasn't been in a movie yet. And all of a sudden, in this big climactic scene, Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang comes on. I thought, damn, that's me. And I hadn't told my neighbors because I thought if it isn't, I'm going to feel really stupid if they show up and I didn't hear your song, man. So then we invited a bunch of neighbors to come down and see it. And I thought it would be really cool if I took my guitar with me and kind of stood up, in the middle of the song when it was going. And I thought probably wouldn't be that good of an idea.
Are you gonna play that song for us?
Well, I hadn't really planned on it. I didn't want to ruin the vibe here. But it's kind of a dumb song, and even dumber when you're 66 to sing Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang. But here's the cool thing about it: each song on the in the movie had their own YouTube page, and before they took it down after 6 months, the licensing, it was up to 8 million views. Put it back up, and now it's over 3 million. So it's just ridiculous, but kind of cool too.
That's awesome.
We need to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll do that as the encore because you probably won't want to hear any more after that.
That'll work.
That'd be a good way to ruin the evening at the end.
And what's it called? Wham Bam?
Wham Bam
Thank you.
Shang-a-Lang.
Oh,
It was a big hit in 1976.
wow.
So it's so weird 47 years later. So you never know.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
So with this motif here, I think Randy was a big Batdorf and Rodney, a big Beatle fan.
Yeah.
Different band. They were a little more successful than us.
I'm so sure.
He doesn't have any of our pictures up here, so that's
I
the
know,
case.
yeah. He's into bugs.
Well, when I was 12, I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan's show, and it completely changed my life, as it did many people. And I went from a guy who wanted to play second bass for the Reds to a guy who wanted to be in a band like the Beatles. And so 3 years later, I left for California, and 3 years after that, I got to make a record. And the only thing that didn't happen on my bucket list, I didn't get on the Ed Sullivan show. I don't think that's going to happen unless they find some way to bring Ed back. So when I went to Bend my first time in 2014, I'd just written this little guitar pattern and a melody. I hadn't written the words yet. Words always come last for me most of the time. So I'm sitting in this hotel room with headphones on because my wife's still sleeping, and I'm playing the song. I think it's kind of cool. I like this. And then I got this first idea of a line that said, I got the fever back in '64, ain't felt nothing like it since, nothing like it before. And that's kind of how songs are. You play it enough, and all of a sudden something comes. And so I wrote this song, and it was pretty easy to write because it was about one of my favorite things in life, the Beatles. And it goes like this. It's called Beep Beep. I got the fever back in '64. Ain't felt nothing like it since, nothing like it before. That night when Lennon sang Twist and Shout, we knew what the Beatles were all about. They wrote songs that made us feel so fine. We heard them singing, and that just blew our minds. They made believers of us all that night. We let go and they sang Hold Me Tight. These boys could write, these boys could sing, these boys could play almost everything. They'd sing their songs that made the young girls scream and cry. So all the boys bought a guitar and tried to sing real high. Beep, 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 yeah. 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 Oh, help me if you can, 'cause I sure years since I first heard those songs, but I can still listen to them all day long. Day tripper, nowhere man, every damn song helped make me who I am. They changed the world 'cause we were all listening. I'd give it all for one more chance, just to watch them sing. Beep, 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 yeah. Beep, 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 yeah. Beep, 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 yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 yeah. Thank you so much. Very good. They changed the doggone world, man. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
It decorated this room.
Sure did. Sure did. This could be a whole eBay page.
Yeah.
Beatle, Beatle stuff.
I just feel sorry for Randy's son.
Why?
Because when Randy's no longer around, that poor child's going to have more Beatles crap than he's ever had in his life.
We're setting up an eBay page for him.
Yeah, they just might catch on too. You never know.
I know it.
Yeah,
This
they
is
might make it yet.
They might.
this house is like a time capsule.
It is. And I fit right in.
And you're in it.
Picture this.
Now, do you think one day that there'll be a room like this with Beyonce posters in the background?
I don't know,
I think not.
but I wish it was a Halle Berry room somewhere. I like Halle Berry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very.
I love that X-Men shows. She plays Storm.
I haven't seen it yet.
I would love for her to be a tornado at my house. Just
You
blow
can't
her right.
handle it.
Really?
Really.
Doesn't matter. I would lay down and die for her.
Lydia isn't in the room as he says that.
Yeah.
Oh, she knows. We were watching that show one time, and she had never seen it. And Hallie's wearing all white, and they call her Storm, you know. She said, "What is so interesting?" I said, "You watch it. This guy's fixing to piss her off." And she said, "So? Oh, there ain't no so to it." I don't remember what the man said, and she started, her eyes turned white, and kind of like Maria Laveau, you know. And she started to make wind and started to turn around. I said, "That's what I do when I get pulled over for speeding." You know. So anyway.
So, Randy, how are we doing for time? We have no clocks.
Let's do another 2 songs each, and then we'll take a break.
All right.
Well, I really enjoy your music.
Thank you, man. I enjoy yours as well.
I
It's
like
nice
your
to sing
voice.
with another tenor on stage.
Oh, it's well, yeah. I like yours.
Alan, what about your eyes?
They've been kind of dry lately. Nothing Visine won't fix, though. Yeah, well, I guess I could do your eyes. Move it way up here.
It's a long way up.
I know that's what they always told me. So, I'll move it back down just a little bit.
I got a song I play up there. It's fun to play up there.
Gosh,
You can't make any mistakes because they're all right there.
Yeah, I
It's kind
know.
of hard to hit the wrong notes.
Well, I mean, but your vocals are like,
Pretty high.
yeah.
Pretty high.
Of course, I can't tell you why, but I had a little old lady at a concert say, "Son, how do you sing so high?" And, I told her, I said, "Well, there are certain things about me that are very..."
Shut up, Alan.
Yes.
I'm trying to save you.
I know, I got into that one, and there came that truck again. Anyway, boy, this is an old one. Anyway, I do like your playing. I
Thanks,
like
man.
your singing. I really am impressed that a man from California can actually play that well.
Yeah. Just a lot of practice. Actually, I'm from Yellow Springs, Ohio, and that's where Richie Foray is
You
from.
keep moving around, I swear.
And I was born in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
You had a lot of moving money. Did you notice that?
My dad just had jobs all over the place.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Was he an Air Force man?
No, he was not.
Truck driver.
He was not.
Prostitute.
He was not.
I've covered everything that moves a lot.
Well, he was a cop.
Oh, he was chasing people.
Yes, he was chasing people.
Yes. What was their name?
Well, he ended up chasing a lady when I was 15 to Nashville and left my mother. So he
Wow.
never stopped running.
He never did.
He never did.
So wherever he laid his hat that's another song.
That's right. And when he died, all he left us was alone.
That's a good lyric.
That's a great line. Man.
I
That's
think
one of
we're
my
gonna
favorite
have to-
lines of all
We're going to
time.
have to write that down.
I think someone already did.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I know a friend that lives in a yellow submarine.
Not quite as effective
Yeah.
as whoever he
I
did his
know
hat
it.
was his own. That was one of the great lines.
Wow.
Why didn't I write that dang song, man?
I know it. I don't know. There's.
And they only had one chord. I could have played that in my sleep.
I'm just amazed at the whole hippie movement. It still survives today. Have you noticed that?
You been to Kerrville?
I have.
So you know it's kind of there.
It is, yeah. I happen to know some friends that are 80 years old and still have long, long hair.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how it stayed in.
It was all that marijuana we smoked.
That's right.
See there, she knows. Yeah, I wasn't talking about Randy or anything, you know.
He's not 80.
No.
I'm not 80.
No, but I'm going to dedicate this one to you because I've had to play this for you for a decade or more now, and I'm so damn tired of it.
But you're playing it for Helen Treadwell.
I know it,
Great song.
and you're a Treadway.
I am.
Can you believe that?
All the way she's a Treadwell.
I've never made a treadmill joke after that. I love you. We go way back. Yeah. She used to serve me chitlins in prison. Sneak them in. Yeah. He's like, oh God. Okay, you're gonna sing on this one with me? I knew you were gonna do that. Your eyes talk to me. They tell me what I need to know. When the words are not easy to say, I can look in your eyes. You can say I love you, but your eyes seem to say it best. And being with you, I know that I am blessed. Your eyes talk to me. They tell me what I need to know. When the words are not easy to say, I can look in your eyes. Your eyes talk to me. They tell me what I need to know. When the words are not easy to say, I can look in your eyes. When the words are not easy to say, I can look in your eyes. Corny.
No, it's not.
No? Okay.
Uh-oh. Battery.
Wait a minute. I've got one. It's in my guitar. You want me to take it out for you?
No, it's okay. I can make it through
You
this
keep
set.
banging on that box on the floor. That's why
It's not cooperating. Anyway. Well, we have a couple more songs, I guess. I can get by. I'll do my best.
With a little help from your friends.
Yeah, there they are, right behind me. It's amazing. I every time there's another Beatle thing, I watch it. Did you see the one with Ken Howard? It was interesting. But I'm such a fan. I've read all the books, and I read this great book called All You Need Is Ears that George Martin wrote. It's a great book. And he was such a brilliant guy, too. He was really the fifth Beatle. That guy was so talented. It's amazing that he admitted that he didn't think the Beatles would ever be able to write songs. He said, well, they proved me wrong on that one. Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell his influence on these guys because they were so rough around the edges, and he would write those cello parts, and oh gosh.
I'm still trying to figure out who the hell Sergeant Pepper is.
I don't think it mattered.
Did it?
No.
But they all lived together in a submarine.
They did.
A yellow one.
With the blue meanies.
That's kind of strange.
It's kind of weird.
Kind of like them 3 men in a tub type deal.
A little bit.
They had blue meanies.
It worked for them, though.
That lady that smokes a lot of pot, she knows everything about this.
I dropped all of acid too.
There you go. Why stop at pot? So, this is a song that I released a few years back. And I wrote it with my friend Michael McLean. And the great thing about humans is that there's something that the computer match-up things miss. Because if you put us on paper as guys that would be lifelong friends and who would write a lot of great songs together, we would never be in the same breath. But what the computers don't have is what happens in the room when you're exchanging ideas and getting excited and going, oh, that's better, but what if we went here, and that kind of stuff. And
The spark.
yeah, there is. There's a real human spark that I think the world is missing a lot of today. That's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But I'm really happy that I was able to be raised and live through probably the greatest era of music ever. It was the first time bands started writing their own songs, and changed everything. It's all because of these guys. These guys are the first guys to go out there and do it. Then a lot of the bands evolved out of those, and so I love writing songs. It's one of my favorite things that happens because you walk in a room and you have the same strings you had on yesterday, and you got the same capos, and something happens, and all of a sudden the song comes out, and it's a remarkable thing. So this song was written about I think Michael and myself. As it turns out, he loves to fish, and our family loves to catch. He took us fishing one day, and he came running back with about a 9-inch rainbow. Hey, look, I got one. And we go, yeah, we got one too. It was a 4-pound brown that my son had caught. So we always joke about who's the better fisherman, and but it's all fun, and now I'm teaching him to play pickleball, which I don't know if it's big in Texas.
Pickleball?
Pickleball has become the fastest growing sport.
I want to know how it rolls.
It took us a while to catch on. It's been going on for 40 years. It started on Bainbridge Island in Washington.
That's scary.
But
pickleball.
It's become so popular. You play with a wiffle ball, a special wiffle ball, and you play with a graphite paddle, and you get a small tennis net, and it's like a badminton-sized
It's called
court.
ping pong.
No, because you're standing on the table.
Oh.
You're standing on top of the table, basically. So it's like, one of the descriptions is ping pong on steroids, standing on top of the table.
Sounds like you're angry that you've lost.
No. It's so much fun. I played racquetball for 35 years and competitively played in a lot of tournaments. And when I moved to Oregon, I couldn't find anybody that was, because you have to play someone that's kind of in the same level as you, maybe a little better. Otherwise, it's just not fun. So eventually someone said, you should come play some pickleball with us. And I thought, the only thing I knew about pickleball was a bunch of old people in Florida standing at the net, hitting the ball back and forth. I thought, well, that sounds really like a lot of fun. So I went, and gosh, now I'm addicted. I've been in 4 tournaments. My wife loves it. And once you start playing, anybody can play at any age. You got kids that are 5, they're playing it, and you got people that are 90 playing it in tournaments. It's so great. It has nothing to do with the song, but I just, it's another passion of mine. I love it. Because I love sports so much. I love competing. And that's kind of what you do when you're trying to write a song. You're trying to compete with yourself and trying to write a song that seems like it matters and maybe it will be important to someone else other than yourself. Mm-hmm. Which is my favorite thing to have happen. When people come up to you and go, that song, it did something to them. And
Yeah, I've had that happen.
And one of my favorite stories about that is that I'm not a political person. I hate politics. But I was asked to play at a fundraiser for a politician who I didn't know, but it was Michael's friend. So, well, as long as I don't know what I'll just tell me what to sing. So we're playing these songs, and I played a song called All For You. And it's a song about a soldier who's in a battle, and he knows he's not going to survive. And his final thoughts that he would like to convey to his family, his friends, and his country. And it's a very powerful song. It took me a long time before I could actually sing it. So we played it that night, and at the end of the night, there was a couple standing in front of me at the stage. And so I went over to talk to him. I said, how you doing? And they said, well, we want you to have this. And they gave me this bracelet. And it's what the Army sends to people that their kid has been killed in the war. And I go, I can't take this. I go, that song meant so much to us that we want you to have this. And it was the most powerful thing that's really ever happened to me musically. And I still have it in my studio. It sits right in front of me every day when I go in my studio and sit and play. But that's what makes music so great, is that there are moments like that you don't even think is ever going to happen. You wouldn't even think about it. Something like that, and it's just powerful. So anyway, it's a long setup for something. None of that stuff had to do with the song, but the song is about Michael McLean and myself, we think, when we become old. Yeah, older than 66, I think. It's called That's What I'll Remember, and it's a song about what's really important. Driving to the river, I think we left about 5:30. I talked about the fishing ahead and all the flies you tied. And in my recollection, we both began selecting holes we'd fish first light. Then driving home we bitched and moaned 'cause the fish wouldn't bite. What you said's forgotten, all those words are gone. But how you had me laughing all night long, that's what I'll remember. I hit a bump or two that threw me for a loop last year. You heard what happened and came to help me shed my tears. I couldn't sleep that evening. You joined me in my grieving till the morning sun. And I didn't know it then, but that's when my healing had begun. Oh, what you said's forgotten, all those words are gone. But when my heart was broken, Wish I could tell you what I feel, but we're not fishing today. So many times you helped me, got through the storm and held me. Now it's my turn. My deepest respect was well earned, and when I reflect on what I've learned, I'll never neglect the love you always returned. Oh, what you said's forgotten, all those words are gone, but all the love you gave me lives on and on, and that's what I'll remember. Oh, what you said's forgotten, all those words are gone, but all the love you gave me lives on and on, and that's what I'll remember. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Kind of reminds me of Don Henley's voice in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're in that same spot.
Aunt B sent you this.
All right. Should I ask what it is?
I don't know.
Coffee, just like you had before.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Aunt B. Boy, that's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's his nickname. There's even a metal plate in the kitchen on the wall that says Aunt B's Kitchen. Has Andy Griffith and.
Yes, I know it. I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm older than you, I think. I know Opie and Goober
Probably
and
a
Gomer
little
and
bit.
Floyd. I know all those guys. Those guys are great.
She's only 14.
Yeah, whatever.
That makes Randy a. Never mind. Oops.
Don't look at me when after you make it done of yourself.
I will say something that we forgot to mention. Both of us have our CDs here tonight.
We do.
John's brought his to share with us, so you know, help us out a little bit. And John's music is over the top. I love it.
Oh, thank you, man.
So
I appreciate that.
pick you up a CD, and
Also, there's a bucket up there on the wall too.
Yeah,
that
the way
Randy's.
these things are funded, you guys know how this works. You gotta fill this up. Not as many people here tonight, so you gotta dig deeper. That's the way it works.
it is a tough life. I mean, we live, we work, and this is what we do, and
It's getting harder and harder to do it. It's getting so expensive.
yeah.
Surprise, surprise! When you rent cars and
Oh yeah.
it's
I know Lydia. She gasps every time the agent calls, and she's like, "Where's it at?
Yeah.
How much is it?" You know. And I have to pick and choose. You know, I have two different bands, bluegrass and country, mostly country of all time, but different sizes. I have to pick and choose how many,
oh, heck yeah,
and it is so hard to leave them out, leave somebody
yeah,
out. You know?
it's tough.
So, but we just did a lot of work for the Shriners International, Karam Shriners, and wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so you know, there's a lot of research there. I guess I should have done, but I'll be honest and tell you, I went into that not knowing as much as I should have known, and I've known all my life how good they were for the children, and the crippled children, children's hospitals. There you go. Anyway, the Shriners hospitals, they are just phenomenal at what they do, and I met the imperial potentate Shriner, the one over the country, and wow, what a wonderful man. And they asked me to be a Shriner.
Oh, cool.
Did
And
you say yes?
I did. I sure did. I'm happy. Well, you know, I kept bugging him. I kept pulling on his shirt, and I said, look, I really want one of those funny hats you wear. And he said, Alan, they're not hats. They're called fez. I said, oh, the kind you shoot, not pheasants, fezzes. I said, and so anyway, one of them that emceed our concert a week ago, it's all decorated with their ranks and the Shriners emblems, and a tassel that's that big around hangs all the way down here. I said, wow. So then he's like, Alan, would you stop running your fingers through my tassel? I'm like, this is so cool. Anyway, so I agreed to it. You know, there's a lot of tests and initiation and a lot of learning that I've got to do. And so I'm going to share my talent to help raise money for the children's hospitals. And I'm super excited about that. Yeah. So, you know, I was mentored by Porter Wagner for many years, and I toured with Ray Price for 26 years. And Porter was a Shriner, Mel Tillis was a Shriner, and both of them Masons, you know, and in the hierarchy. And I just never paid no attention to what was behind it. But they each had their hats, fezzes, in glass cases, and I got in trouble. Porter went off for a weekend, and I got down in the floor, and it was on the mantle, and it's in a glass case with a wood bottom, and I said, the minute that truck goes towards Nashville to leave for the weekend, I'm getting that hat down, and I'm going to wear it all over the place. And the show got canceled. And the truck came down the driveway, and I was Indian style in the floor, and I was trying to pop that box open. And it had a little hook on it I didn't notice, and that little hook got me in trouble. But it actually saved my life, too, because if I've gotten it open, I'd have had that hat on, running around the house swinging that tassel, boy. And the keys came, the back door in the kitchen opened, and the keys came down, and I thought, oh, it's over. The end of life has come. And I'm just a teenager. And I accepted it. I did. I made peace with God. I'm ready, God. Please take me now. Before he got in the den. But I learned that day how valuable those fezzes are to those guys. And now today I even know even more, and I'm proud. I'll get one someday. I will earn my tassel.
It'll be your next album cover.
Yes. But anyway, they loved Lydia. She came in. They thought, well, you've got a head start, son. You've got your wife on a walker. I said, yes, and she's eligible because she's only 14. He was like, really? She's little, so I kind of got in trouble. He said, really? Oh, not really, sir. But anyway, I'm going to play this. None of that had anything to do with this song.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the interior decorator friend of mine that actually is hosting us tonight. You know him,
Mm-hmm.
Rander. And
B?
you know,
We call him B.
Oh, yeah, Ante B.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm proud of this actually because what he had up before was all Boy George pictures. Well, yeah, he used to love Culture Club, and I'd come in and go, "What is that? Why does that guy have lipstick on, Randy?" He goes, "Don't ask that question." Anyway, and here he comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Why are you smiling at me?
I love you.
He's making up stories about you.
Listen, I've heard him all over the years. He's a friend of mine, and I allow him to say most anything he wants to.
But he gets me back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he came to a concert one night, and I did a few things, or 4. And so anyway, my drummer says, "Alan, that guy with the funny hairdo that looks like his wife is out there letting the air out of the bus tires." I'm like,
Only 3 of the time.
and they're big tires, you know. Took him 2.5 hours to empty one of them, though. I can't.
Pump it out of there. I didn't know you could just pull the plug.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you a story about that. I brought one of the kind you plug in your cigarette lighter, okay? And my driver was so mean one day. He didn't feel good, but this one driver's side tire on the bus, he kept saying, before I get there, because I've got pneumonia, but I'm still going to drive us, you have the tire people come out before I get here to have that tire, because it has to have 105 pounds of pressure. And when I checked it with that big old long thing, you know, it had 54 pounds in it. So I figured, uh-oh, when he gets here and I hadn't done this, he's going to kill me. So I got out that little one you plug in the cigarette. Stop laughing, I hadn't finished yet. Anyway, so there is one of them plugs there in the bay. So I opened up the bay door and I run it in there. And I sit on the ground in the oil. And I sit there and... So he usually got to the parking lot at the bus place about 5 o'clock. And he'd start bouncing tires and checking fluids. Well, it was 3 o'clock. I said, I got plenty of time. Well, I didn't realize at 5:15 when his pickup pulled into Hemp Hill Brothers there in Nashville, I'm still sitting on the ground going... He's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm airing up the tire. He goes, how long you been doing this? Since 3, not long. He said, it's 5:15, boy. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, so we checked the tire. I said, it's ready. Really? Okay. So he said, move out of the way. I got this. So he looked at the end of it. 60 pounds, Alan. Not nice. I said, so are we going? He said, by the grace of God, we're going. But when we get to Love's truck stop, it's your butt that's getting out in the rain to put the air in the tire. Well, I will never wait to put air in the tire again, ever. Those truckers are like, hey, boy, how long you been driving the bus? Long time. Really long time. He said, you're not the driver, are you? No, sir. We'll get on the bus and hush. Anyway. Lydia can tell you many stories of bus stories, but that one is probably the one that gets me in trouble every time. I almost hired Randy as a bus driver once. I know it. He said, the only reason why I wouldn't do it is because he said, you're going to get to sleep on a bunk and I'm taking the bedroom. I'm like, that's a no. Let me tell you a story about that. I like to share this because it means a lot to me. About 4 years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was told because of a rare disease that I wasn't going to be here but maybe 5 more months. And I had to come to terms with that. And I'm not kidding, I'm serious. And I had made my mind up. I was very weak. I had a walker like Lydia's on, and I was white as a ghost and thin as a rail, and couldn't breathe. And I was tired, and I was, ready, So Randy and Helen came to what I said was going to be my last show, and I was supposed to take the stage. The opening people had played already. And Randy and Helen came out to MC the show, which I thought was the greatest thing, to have your big brother come out and be there for your last night. Anyway, Randy was on the bus, and my drummer Kurt said, he's in the bedroom. So Randy just come back, knocked on the door, and just came right on in. He said, you ready to get on stage? And I just broke down. I said, to see him there, I said, yeah, I'm ready. Well, I couldn't walk. Randy walked me all the way out that bus. On that walker, walked me all the way up in the back of that theater, all the way up the ramp and on that stage. And he said, this will not be your last time. you will play again. And I will make sure that I'm always there for you. And still to this very day, he has supported me in every way and believed in me. And about that time, I was telling Lydia, because I had just met her, even though I sang her that awful song, right? I had told her, I said, please, you need to go on and find somebody that's not sick and, you know, go on with your life is what I said, you know. And even she didn't stop, you know. Well, because of Randy and his love and Lydia and her love, I'm still here today. And I'm just glad to be able to play music and share it with you. So I just wanted to say I love you. I have to let them know because it means a lot, you know. That's why we pick on each other, because we've been through the storm, you know. So anyway, Randy's a blessing. And I've had some hardships lately too, and I've had 2 strokes lately. Need heart surgery. Had some new stuff coming on, and God has put forth. That's like less than fifth. Anyway, friends in my life as well as Randy and you, Helen, and my friends Jimmy Lee Garvin back there, and his wonderful wife Felicia. Anyway, they have been there through thick and thin too. So, you know, Porter always told me one thing. When I fell down many times, he always said, son, you need to make you some friends, some good friends. And they'll always stay by your side. Always. And he was right. He was right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm gonna need that. Thank you. Ugh. That was
Play a song, Alan.
He always does that, and I go, okay, but I'm going to use it. He says, okay, I do. All right. You can try to talk me out of leaving. You can say you were wrong 1,000 times. But unless you become a different person, nothing's gonna change my mind. 'Cause I've been down that road with you before. I've watched you many times walk out the door, but now I'm the one who's leaving, and nothing's gonna change my mind. Well, you can't take back the words that you told me. You can't erase the pain I feel inside. But now I'm the one who's leaving, and nothing's gonna change my mind. 'Cause I've been down that road with you before. You can't erase the pain that I've been feeling. nothing's gonna change my mind, and nothing's gonna change my mind. Thank you.
Well, I just hope that every one of you decide to vote for me. That's all I can say.
That's pretty good.
Sorry.
I just think whatever she doesn't know is okay, and some of the things is not. Anyway, my friend Randy needs a haircut.
We just had one a week ago.
Really? I can't tell. You gotta love him.
I do.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut the sleeves out of my next show jacket or something. And
And don't wear any shoes or boots.
And don't wear shoes.
really,
No shoes.
you see that? The pot lady's telling me how to dress now.
Well, you
Sure.
want to honor Randy, right?
Kinda.
Okay, gotta take your shoes off.
Gosh.
Cut the sleeves out of your t-shirt.
Did you hear that? Sound like somebody was landing on the
I
roof.
think so. Well, this is going to be the last song of this set, Randy says, and Randy's the boss. And so, so when I was a kid, I left home at 15 without parents to go to California, and in a chaperoned band. And I decided after I got to LA that I wasn't going back to Ohio. So I lived basically between 15 and 18, actually 15 till I got married, with no adult supervision, which can be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And, I told my mom that, it's really cool. We got a really great house and we eat well. I'm going to school. And basically that really wasn't true at all. But, I survived and, because I had kind of a Midwest upbringing, and something about the Midwest I wish my kids had in them, because it's a different kind of a thing than being born and raised in the big city. So anyway, the way I learned a lot about life and kind of helped set the path for me as a human was listening to all the great writing back then, because there's so many great writers. I mean, Paul Simon, the Beatles, obviously, and Dylan and Joni Mitchell. I mean, there's just tons. There's too many even, which is why it was such a great era. And for a kid, trying to excel as a writer, it was like being in this music college. It was so incredible because the bar was so high that everybody was trying to be that good. So even if you were kind of here, you were really pretty darn good. And so that was so important to me because music was always way more than just music to me. It was just something from my soul, and I love to share the music that I wrote with other people, and like the moment I talked about before, it makes it all worthwhile. So flash forward many years, my wife and I, well, she had them, but I had a hand in it at least. We have twin boys. They're now 33, and when my son was 18, he became addicted to methamphetamine. When we're from the drug culture, so we thought we should be able to handle this. And we realized that we couldn't. There's nothing we could say. Because this was like the big leagues. And so I reached out to my friend Michael and I asked him, I said, it's kind of a long shot, but what if we wrote a song to my son and kind of talked about what was going on, because there was no communication at all. We couldn't talk. We'd gotten way past all that. So we wrote this song called I Don't Always Win. And so I picked my son up in the car and said, hey, I just wrote this new song. I'm going to play it for you. And things were really bad. And when the song played, something changed. he became more receptive because he knew what the song was about, even without me telling him what it was about. And it was the first time in a few years that there had been any part of this barrier starting to break down. And eventually he got straight, and which is great. But it was such a powerful moment again that Michael McLean and myself thought, well, we should make a record with songs like this, because there's got to be more people that music could help heal. And so we originally had this idea to make a record called 12 Songs for 12 Steps, which we thought was kind of a good idea. But because we're not addicts, we are recovering perfectionists, we ended up with 17 songs on the record. Just a few counter steps in there. And then as we were making the record, we realized that it really wasn't just about addiction, it was about life. And because everybody's recovering from something. And music is a great healer to listen to and get you through moments. It has me my whole life. So we ended up making this record called Soundtracks to Recovery. And we were playing at a little house concert one night, and someone was so moved by it that they gave us $10,000 to make a really beautiful website, and we've shot some videos. And Michael McLean and myself, who we are, like I said before, we're so different. We talk about the project, and we started writing songs in the early 90s, and a lot of the songs ended up getting used on the record, and we thought, now I know why we met. We met because we were supposed to make this record one day, and it's been great, and it's great to play in a room where everyone gets exactly what you're talking about, and it's fantastic. And we have a website, it's torecovery.org, where we give away the music for free. We also sell it to people that can't afford to buy it, but we want it to be there for people. And so this is the very first song, and then we're going to take a little break, and this is called I Don't Always Win. I'd be a liar if I said that I'm alright. There's no denying that I'm better than I've been. But every hour I'm alone, it's still a fight that I don't always win. No need to tell me what will happen if I lose. I know the hell that will await me once again. But it's a battle that's the reason for these blues, that I don't always win. No, I don't always win. Such a sweet companion when I feel abandoned, keeps poisoning this canyon called my life. So where will you be when I go another round? Have you decided yet whose corner you'll be in? If it's a champion you think you might have found, well, I don't always win. Still that sweet companion when I feel abandoned, keeps poisoning this canyon called my life. Yeah.
that I'm alright. There's no denying that I'm better than I've been. But every hour that I'm alone, it's still a fight that I don't always win. No, I don't always win. Thank you. Very much. Thank you. All right. It's time for a break. We'll see you in 2 years.